After months of reluctance, Western allies, they're finally providing Ukraine with battle tanks. United States and Germany have announced plans to send Ukraine dozens of advanced battle tanks. Amid mounting pressure, the German government on Wednesday agreed to send Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. It's seen as a game changer by Ukraine on the battlefield. Germany was initially going to provide 14 Leopard 2 tanks from its inventory. This decision was earlier stalled by the German government as it was wary that the move could prompt Russia to further escalate the war. According to German officials, the tanks could now take 3 to 4 months to be ready. Hours after Berlin's announcement, President Joe Biden also announced that the United States is going to supply 31 M1 Abrams tanks worth $400 million to Ukraine. The United States itself was wary of deploying one of the most powerful and difficult to maintain U.S. tanks to Ukraine. This decision now comes in a bid to persuade Germany to provide Ukraine with its more easily operated Leopard 2 tanks. However, the United States has confirmed that the Abrams will not be heading to Ukraine anytime soon and that the members of the Ukrainian military will be trained on how to use these tanks.
Armored capability, as General Austin will tell you, has been critical, and that's why the United States has committed hundreds of armored fighting vehicles to date, including more than 500 as part of the assistance package we announced last Friday. And today I'm announcing that the United States will be sending 31 Abram tanks to Ukraine.
Now there has been strong reaction from the Kremlin against the move by the United States and the German government. Kremlin has called this move extremely dangerous and that the previous red lines were now a thing of the past. The Russian embassy in Berlin has made a statement that the decision to send Leopard tanks to a conflict takes the conflict to a new level of confrontation. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has commented that the Western allies send Ukraine tanks. This ends the prospects for entering diplomatic talks. Russian President Vladimir Putin is yet to speak on this matter publicly. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has hailed the decision and has said that the key to supplying tanks for Ukraine's war effort was speed and sufficient numbers. Zelensky also said that he'd spoken to NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg and has also called for supplies of long-range missiles and aircraft.
U.S. President Joe Biden approved on Wednesday to send 31 Abram tanks to Ukraine. The announcement came just hours after German Chancellor Olaf Scholz announced that Ukraine would receive the Leopard 2 tanks as Russia prepares for a spring offensive. And while those Leopard 2 tanks will likely land on the battlefield a lot sooner, U.S. President Joe Biden made clear that America's Abram tanks may take months before they're delivered. He also said that providing Ukraine with military equipment is not only for the Ukrainians to go on the defensive, but ultimately go on the offense against the Russians. Meanwhile, senior defense officials told reporters on Wednesday that between the tanks supplied by the United States, the UK, Germany, the Netherlands, as well as France and Sweden, along with tank shipments to be announced by other EU member states, Ukraine will have, quote unquote, hundreds of tanks at its disposal. Ukraine said thank you very much. Now, how about providing us with the much needed 4th generation fighter jets?